Okay, so we are on air. Um, Welcome, Mauli and Nikunj of Chitwa Bitcoin Company. The first of many to come, hopefully, Bitcoin startups in Ghana. How's it been?
Great.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. All right. There's a
How's
lot
it?
of background noise. I'm good.
Okay. And so this is an opportunity for us to dive straight into Bitcoins, to learn more about them and cryptocurrencies in general. But before we begin, can you guys give us some introduction about yourselves? I mean, we know you already, but I think you guys should also tell us something in relation to Bitcoins that we didn't know about you, like your fascination and everything. So, Maulu,
Okay.
Okay.
Are you gonna go first?
Uh, Sharon and Finch, go first.
Oh, I go first? Okay, sure. Basically, I'm a teaching fellow right now at Nest, which is the Meltwater Entrepreneurial School of Technology. I'm sure a lot of you know about it. And I'm coming towards the end of my time at Nest. I've spent almost a year over here. And I'm currently working on a project called Kitiwa with Mali. And what we try to do is we sell bitcoins using Ghana CDs, and we get in terms of mobile money or bank transfers or any of those things. So that's what I'm up to these days. Originally, I'm from Singapore. Yep. Over to you,
That's
Mali.
great. Well, uh, I think my name is Mauli. I write software for a living. I think for some time now, I've been using Liberty Reserve to bypass the ban that PayPal has on Africa to pay for stuff online until it was closed down and discovered Bitcoin. It's pretty much and it can be shut down, so that's a good thing. And yeah, we're working on Kitiwa. That's a way to give people access to what I have found, which is a way to go around the ban that PayPal has on Africa. So people can pay for stuff online from Africa without discrimination. That's what Bitcoins offer.
okay. So, Mauli got Nikunj interested in Bitcoins or what? How does it go?
Well, the country you speak for yourself.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the question actually.
Yeah, I was asking how you became fascinated with Bitcoin. Did Mauli influence you in any way?
Right, he did actually. The first time I just knew about Bitcoins a little bit, and the first time I actually thought about it seriously was when I saw him pitch at Nest during the previous guest lecture weekend. That's when I actually like really looked into like, oh wow, this is interesting for Ghana. And after that, I sort of found out more when Marley actually talked to us. We met at coffee lunch one day, and he talked to us about it in detail, and that's what really got me excited about it.
Okay. So, I want to know, and everybody else wants to know too,
Yeah.
how Bitcoin got into our system. I mean, we used to be dealing with dollars and cedis, and all of a sudden there's another form of currency. When did it get into our
Yeah.
system? What does it have?
Am I going to go for this? All right. So basically, Bitcoins have been, I think it's like a accepted mode of payment. So there is, there wasn't exactly like one point of time where it got into our system. It's just always been there. Anyone who has access to the internet can access Bitcoins. All right. It's just like an email service that you can access. So I can't say that Bitcoin got in at a certain date, but what we are trying to do is we're trying to raise awareness and make it much more acceptable and much more popular in the community in Ghana, so that Bitcoin becomes more of a thing that people can use to bypass the PayPal ban or the credit card restrictions and all of those things.
Uh,
So, okay, Maoli.
yeah, sure. I think much more specifically relating to Ghana, it became much more useful here when Liberty Reserve was shut down sometime last year. That that was pretty much what people were using to bypass PayPal's ban on Africa. So I remember at Mess we were trying to pay for a domain name and we had to go buy Liberty Reserve and then use that to buy the domain. Uh, but since that was shut down, we had to find a different alternative, and that's how come Bitcoin's became more popular in Ghana.
Oh, okay. So has it always been in this state, or it used to be something else that has morphed into what it is currently? Has Bitcoins always been as they are now?
Have Bitcoins always been as they are now?
Yes. In
I
terms of
mean,
their form and everything.
based on what?
I'm trying to ask whether it has undergone some kind of transformation because it became popular or something of that sort, or it has maintained its natural state up to this time.
Um, I don't know. I think Maui got more insight on this, but in my opinion, the technology has been exactly the same ever since it started. The only thing that has changed is the amount of people using it and the amount of volume that is used to transact Bitcoin. So once you have a lot of people using it and many transactions, the currency becomes more stable. It also becomes more difficult to commit fraud on the currency. In the sense that it's going to be more difficult for people to exploit the Bitcoin technology. The more people you have on the system. So I feel like those have been the changes with the Bitcoin technology over time.
Yep, that's true. It has matured. That's that's the best way to put it. It has matured.
Oh, okay. So, what makes it safe? What assures us of its security? I mean, the last time I heard, I think it's open source or something like that. So, what? How does it? Why is it safe? Why should we trust it? Why is it secure? Now,
Well, I think the key thing about about it is the fact that it's not reversible. So I mean, if I send you money, you know for a fact that it won't be taken back. You see, say we're using PayPal. If I send you $100, up to 90 days after the event, I can complain to PayPal and they will take the $90 out of the account and give it back to me. It's reversible. Bitcoins are not so. So that's the difference, and that's why a lot of people like it because uh, the whole reason why internationally merchants don't do payments from Africa into Nigeria is because payments from those areas are almost always reversed. So you end up losing money. But Bitcoins are not reversible. That's why they're secure.
okay. I also want to ask, is it possible you share with us some kind of underlying technologies that make Bitcoin the way it is? I mean, it should have this whole system of architectures and complexities that will make people trust it. Like, why is it secure? Apart from the fact that it's irreversible, can't someone just let's say grab a lot of them and use it for whatever you want? How does it distribute? Who owns what? How did it start? Where are they? Can we know that from you?
Okay. I mean, so the way Bitcoin works is that they don't exactly exist uh, physically or even in terms of files. So Bitcoin is not a file. A Bitcoin is just a transaction or a set of transactions, right? If I transfer one Bitcoin to you, you have one Bitcoin by virtue of that transaction. Just by the fact that I transferred something to you means that you have that one Bitcoin. So you're not really protecting a bunch of files that are bitcoins and passing them around. How are they distributed? They're basically not distributed by any central agency. Each time I transfer money to you, you have it, and it just belongs to you. There's no one who is distributing that money. The way that it is sort of sort of the way money is added to the system and the way money is that transaction is approved is done by the process of mining. There are all these bunch of guys who are running something called Bitcoin mining systems, and what they do is they look at a transaction and they solve a very difficult math problem to sort of approve that transaction. And when that transaction is approved, it means that the person who sent the Bitcoins has transferred the money to the person who was supposed to receive it. It sounds a little complicated. I don't know, Mal, could you add on to this? But I guess this is how it works.
So good one, Nikunj. I think it's best understood when we compare it to something we know. And I think the closest example is the BitTorrent technology. We all download files using torrents, and for a long time now, there's been interest that have been trying to shut down the BitTorrent technology, but it's just impossible because it runs on literally millions of people's computers worldwide, and that's what makes it strong. It's called decentralization, and that's the same thing that makes Bitcoin strong. It's the fact that it's decentralized. So at any given point in time, there are millions of machines that are keeping the network going. So if today the US government decided they wanted to shut it down, it wouldn't work because there'll be people in Russia and China and all over the place who would still run software that will keep the network going. If it gets shut down in China, people in Russia, US, all over the world will keep it running. So it's impossible to shut down, and that's why it's really that's what makes it amazing. Just like torrents, they can never be killed.
Why isn't that a problem? Does that mean there's someone somewhere who can add extra coins to the global repository of coins? Is there a fixed number of bitcoins that can be distributed among all all the people on the earth, or there are people who have the power to add more bitcoins as they get out of the system?
That's a great question. Uh, I think, yeah, one of the key things that was considered when they were starting was the fact that a lot of our currencies, take a good example, Zimbabwe. What destroyed their currency was the fact that they just printed so much, and the currency became useless. So a key thing that they did with bitcoins was to fix the amount of currency that will ever be produced. So yes, it's fixed at 21 million bitcoins, and they will not produce more ever. And that's what makes it pretty much, that's a good thing because nobody has the power to print more. So there'll never be anything like inflation caused by a central bank that's printing money. So the Zimbabwe scenario will never happen to bitcoins. And by the way, it's not only Zimbabwe. You take a look, just Google very quickly quantitative easing. Right now, the United States government prints about $50 billion of currency every month. It's not necessarily, real money that's printed, but they pump that money into the system every month, new money. They're trying to prop up the dollar, and it has effects all over the world. But that's what bitcoins prevent. They are fixed, and there will never be anybody who can print more.
My question for the coach, one of the reasons countries have to print more notes is to replace lost notes, worn out notes, right? We lose currency, they get old, they tear, and the same thing happens to bitcoins. We have had situations where bitcoins have gone missing. Let's say it's on someone's machine, the machine or it's destroyed, the hard drive cannot be recovered, something like that sort happens. Which means we are taking away out of the 21 million bitcoins that we can have, and we can never add to it. You know what I'm trying to say? How do you deal with
Yes.
the situation where people are losing their bitcoins through other means, not by selling, in such a way that we can recover it? What happens to that fixed number? How do we address it? Otherwise, when it comes to a point where we have to go bitcoin at all because people lost it all.
Uh, the voice is a little unclear, but just to check if I got what you said, you're asking me what can people do if they lose their bitcoins? Like, how can you get them back? Because your computer
Um,
might get destroyed and you might end up losing your bitcoin.
yeah, I was talking about Maoli saying there's a fixed number and there can never be any addition, no matter the situation. And I'm asking what happens when we lose bitcoins the same way we lose notes in dollars or any other currency.
So that's the biggest problem, right? Once you lose something called your private key, right? So you use your private key to move your bitcoins to another person's account. Once you lose that private key, and there is no possible way to recover it, you basically lost control of those bitcoins, and there is nothing you can possibly do to get them back. Um, that's why it's sort of risky, and people should take enough cautions and efforts to make sure that they are protecting their privacy in a proper manner by making backups, encrypted backups on different cloud-hosted services or different physical hardware. So, yeah, if you were to lose your your bitcoins, just like if you were to lose some cash on the street, there is no way you could get it back.
But if you lose cash, let's say there's this quantity of the CD in circulation, right? If we lose some portion of the CD because they got torn or they are no longer usable, we can print new ones, right, to replace the old ones. But here's the case: in Bitcoin, we can't print new ones to replace Bitcoins that are not owned by anybody because someone dumped his hard drive somewhere that can be found, right? Which means that we lose that value that is
Right.
no longer in transaction, and we can't add furthermore to make up the 21 million. That's what my problem is. That's what I'm asking the question about. It means that eventually we might come to a situation where we have zero bitcoins because people lost them all. Not two other people, but
I just feel that's highly unlikely, right? That all 20 million bitcoins get lost by a single person. Just think of a cash-based society. It's very unlikely that someone was to lose 20 20 million, even $20 million worth of money. It's just not something that I foresee happening. But yeah, if people end up losing a whole bunch of bitcoins, the supply of bitcoins is going to reduce, and that is going to cause the price to go up to sort of make up for it. Mavi, do you have anything to add here?
Well, I guess to make Yao happy, I'll say, I mean, if we do get to the point where all 21 million, or let's say 20 million out of the 21 gets lost, it's all code, right? With a consensus from the community, they could produce more, but that means everybody in the community has to agree, and that's a good thing also, right? It's unlike our current monetary system where central bankers just decide to print money without asking anybody. So yeah, more could be printed if everybody in the Bitcoin community agreed. So yeah, are you happy now?
okay. So yeah, but it brings me to another question of who are the stakeholders of Bitcoin? Who are the stakeholders?
Great question. They are they are just people who run. So people who run computers that keep the Bitcoin network running, and the reward they get for running the Bitcoin network is new Bitcoins that get generated. So these are people literally all over the world.
Okay, so anybody who owns Bitcoin is a stakeholder.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like when you host BitTorrent files on your machine and people copy from you, it's the same thing. People run the Bitcoin software and it helps everybody else.
Okay, okay. Um, so is it okay? Let's move on to another question. I'll come back to that question. But let's talk about the uses now. I think from how you explain it, I have this perception in my mind that it's only programmers and hackers who would like to deal with this stuff, like deal with Bitcoin, have it on your machines, encryption, you hash it, you back up somewhere. Is it mainstream currently? Do you have people using it who are not programmers or geeks?
That's a good question. I think a lot of the early adopters were, I mean, technical people, programmers, and all of that. But it's going beyond that now. We have, I mean, everyday people who use it. So a great example is this company, Overstock.com. You can go there
Hmm.
and buy anything you want with bitcoins. In fact, it turns out one of the most popular things that people buy from Overstock with Bitcoins is bed sheets. I mean, who would have thought bed sheets, socks? That's what people use Bitcoins to buy on Overstock.com, and they've already crossed the $1 million barrier in sales. So, I mean, that's a good indicator of the fact that it's not just for geeks anymore.
Okay, so it's getting accepted in a lot of places. Apart from
Oh,
what
yeah.
you just mentioned, where else can we find people accepting Bitcoin? Because that would be
Oh,
necessary. And if I have the
yeah.
currency, I should know where it's
You know,
accepted.
um, Twitter's co-founder Jack Dorsey. He has a second startup called Square, and Square, they have a marketplace called Square Up, and they accept Bitcoins. They started about a month or two ago, but they make it possible for all the Square merchants to accept payments in Bitcoins all over the US. You also have TigerDirect.com, and then there's also gyft.com. They sell gift cards, about 240 brands. So you can buy gift cards for Target, Walmart, yeah, Papa John's Pizza. I mean, anything you want, you can pretty much get gift cards with Bitcoins and use them. Oh, you can get Amazon gift cards with Bitcoin from gyft.com, gift.com. That's, yeah, those are all great places where you can spend Bitcoin.
I think maybe if I Google, I'll find a lot more places where Bitcoin is accepted. And the next question following that is, in terms of the transaction, it's like money, right? And two different currencies. There's this exchange, and there's a ratio, there's a rate, that kind of thing. How does it
It's
affect Bitcoin?
it's not like money. It is money.
Okay. It's money. Thanks for the correction. How does it? What are the rates, the exchange rates, and all those kind of things? And how does it fluctuate?
Well,
Because
the yeah, Nico, take that one.
Okay, so I mean, it's just a standard demand and supply kind of thing that happens. So if demand of the currency increases, the price of the currency is going to go up. At the same time, if the supply of the currency decreases, the price of it is going to go up. One of the most important things to note about Bitcoins is that when you have something like the US dollar or the Singapore dollar or the Ghana cedi, what happens is that the supply is controllable by a central authority. So the monetary authority of that country can inject more money, like Marlon was saying, they can be QE, they can be quantitative easing, where people inject money into the system to bring down to sort of make up for the high demand and bring down the value a little bit. So in Bitcoin, that is not present. Everything is pure demand and supply. Right? The supply of Bitcoin is fixed, or it is increasing at a fixed rate. So everything basically depends on the demand. If people are going to demand more Bitcoins, the price is going to go up. If people stop demanding Bitcoins, the price is going to decline. So very simple economical demand and supply analysis to determine the price.
okay, good explanation. I think I get it now. So
Mhm.
apart from let's say people using it as shops and those other places, do you have any other use cases where people have used Bitcoins? And I mean, like apart from shops, are there any places where they can be used?
Oh, I think you like this one. Richard Branson. That's the Virgin Airlines. Yeah, they have
Uh-huh.
Virgin Galactic. They take people to the moon. And yeah, they've
Oh,
had about 12 people who paid for their flight to the moon with Bitcoins.
oh, okay.
So that's a good use case.
Oh, then it means let's say Richard Branson, right? The kind of business he's running, he can have a whole lot of a whole lot of bitcoins on him. And how is he going to secure that? How is he going to keep it safe? If he's not a programmer, how is he going to secure it? He's not a programmer himself.
Yeah, my question to you, I mean, you have an email inbox with over what 100,000 emails. How do you secure that? How do you secure it? I mean, you're
It's Google's responsibility. It's Google's
Yeah.
responsibility, and that is
Okay.
centralized. Remember, you told
Okay.
me this is distributed, so
Yeah.
and everybody's a stakeholder. That's why I'm asking. Which means that more or less, Richard Branson is responsible for the bitcoins he has at any point in time.
hmm But
So
I mean,
okay,
You can
I'm
sort of
not a geek and I can't protect my bitcoins. What are the options for me?
looks
I
like
can't
the Queen
secure it
has an
myself.
answer for you.
So what I'm trying to say is we can sort of make use of third-party services that help you secure your Bitcoin. One excellent example is blockchain. Blockchain.info. It is a service that sort of encrypts the Bitcoins and keeps them on their servers. And when you want to access those Bitcoins, you sort of decrypt them using a password on your browser. All right. So this might get a little technical, but what I'm saying is that there are all sorts of free third-party services out there that allow you to securely store your Bitcoins and also to securely exchange them for fiat money or for US dollars or for Ghana cedis or any of these things. So all of these services have sort of sprung up over the past few years as the Bitcoin infrastructure and community has grown.
Okay, thanks. Now let me ask you a stupid question. If you have bitcoins, is it like a file that grows in size as the number of bitcoins increases? Like I have a file, and then the more bitcoins I have megabytes, and then the more I have gigabytes. Is it of that sort? It what's the, if I have one bitcoin and someone has about 1,000 bitcoins, what's the difference? We have files that have different sizes of what?
That's a great question. It's just numbers, right? I'll say, yeah, the file size of the guy who has $1 Bitcoin is no bigger than the file size of the guy who has $1 million. It's all numbers. The most important thing is how it's secured, which is using the private keys and the public key. And you need one of each, one private key, one public key, and it can contain $1 million or $1. It doesn't make a difference. That's the cool thing about it.
Right,
Wait,
but
so
there is a file that is increasing in size, which is the blockchain, right? So every single transaction that has been made in using Bitcoins is stored by Bitcoin miners. The people who sort of mine Bitcoins have a record of every single transaction that is made. So yeah, that is the file size that is increasing. That is the decentralized file that everyone in the community shares. That is the file size that's increasing. But all you have is a private key. So your file size is the access to those funds, and that is just the size of the private key. So you don't have to store a big file on your computer.
okay. So now that I know I can have a lot of them and not be a programmer and still have it safe. How do I acquire bitcoins? How do I do that?
That's another good question. Well, that's typically you just convert the money you have, you know, into Bitcoin. So I mean, it's like asking, oh, I'm in Ghana, I have CDs. How do I get dollars? You go to a forex bureau, and it's the same for the currency Bitcoin. If you're trying to buy something, they ask you to pay Bitcoins. You have CDs or whatever currency. You just go to an exchange and you convert it. And the only exchange we have in Ghana is the one that's at Kitiwa, kitiwa.com. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you Google, you find more for other parts of the world. In the US, it's Coinbase, and I think for Europe they have a Bitstamp.
Oh, okay. So that's the way I can get bitcoins. And is there a limit on how much I can purchase at a time? Is there a limit on it?
Not really. Uh, the thing is, all monetary transactions, especially international ones, have to abide by money laundering laws, which means you can't do more than $10,000 without excessive paperwork. So that's all that there is to it. It applies to the dollar, the euro, the yen. I mean, everything. It's similar. Anti-money laundering laws require that if you're buying anything above $10,000, you provide a lot of paperwork. Tell them who your mother's mother is.
You don't have to do any verification when I want to buy bitcoins, right? You don't have to check.
No, I mean,
You don't have to do anything.
yeah, as long as you're below the money laundering limit, you're okay.
Okay. So, has someone ever tried to use Bitcoin for something bad? Let's say, I don't know, but has someone tried to abuse Bitcoin? Not steal it, but have it and use it in a way that is really negative. Like because they can't have the dollars or they can have the euros. They buy Bitcoins and they use it in that direction. Has it ever
Well,
been used for those things?
my question is, has anybody ever used the US dollar to do, anything bad like drug trafficking? Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
research
of course.
shows more than 50% of $100 bills have cocaine traces on them.
I
And
mean,
so,
if there's anything bad
with
you can do with money, you can do it with Bitcoin, just like you could do it with US dollars or any other currency. There's no one stopping people from doing bad things in any way. Just like cash doesn't stop you from doing bad things in any way.
yeah,
So the
yeah,
answer is yes. Yes, it has happened.
Okay. Now my next question is, let's say I want to buy Bitcoins from Ketua right now, and you guys are transferring the Bitcoins to me. Do you guys have to generate the hash and send it my way, or the hash is generated so none of this is apart from me? Because even though it's not reversible, right? Maybe you want to keep a list of the transactions you've made, the hashes that have generated out of it, and I don't know, maybe you use it for anything. Is it that I'm the only person who sees the final hash, or someone else can see it? And also, let me put this one over here. If you send me Bitcoin and Elon sees it, why can he steal it? Why should I?
that's
Why
a
should I?
great
Why
question.
should I? What should I close when I see the Bitcoin information? What should I hide so that nobody sees it? Because let's say it's the most important thing about the transfer.
the Well, if you're receiving Bitcoins, all you have to give everyone in the world is a public key, right? And it's just
Uh
like
huh.
a website, a website gives its public key to the certificate authorities to sort of authenticate it. So just like that, you can give your public key out to everyone, and anyone can send you Bitcoin. So you're totally secure in that sense. The problem comes is is when you want to send Bitcoins. When you want to send Bitcoins, you sort of need to sign that transaction with your private key, and that's the thing you need to protect. You need to protect your private keys, hopefully with the help of a third-party service, and no one should be able to access your private key at any point of time. That is. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It does. And my next question is, which means you can make a wrong transfer, but a person can't retrieve the money. Let's say I buy from Ketua and I give the wrong information. It goes to somebody else, and I'm like, oh, no, I made a mistake. This is my actual information. It means that person can't actually get a benefit. They can't get the money, right?
Well, the way the
Correct. Yeah.
addresses are designed, it's difficult to just make a mistake. As into, I mean, if you're typing in someone's Bitcoin address and you mistyped a letter, it's unlikely you'll get another Bitcoin address. It's designed that way. However, if you do, I mean, deliberately enter, you know, Nikunjo's address as your own, and we send the money to him, well, Nikunjo will have your money.
Okay. My next question for you guys, Bitcoin guys, is why are you running an exchange now, knowing all the risk you guys are taking? I recently read somewhere about exchanges getting broken into and Bitcoin stolen out of it. Why are you guys trying to do the same thing?
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's it's a simple answer. The thing is that it's very frustrating making purchases online from Africa. Paying for things online from Ghana is a pain. Why? PayPal has banned us. It's because of fraud issues. So you can't really pay for anything. It's difficult. And also the fact that Visa, Mastercard, those credit cards don't work over here. at all. They discriminate against us. They do not work. And so Bitcoin is the only way out. Before Bitcoins, there used to be Liberty Reserve, but as you know, the US government shut it down last year. And since then, Bitcoin is the only way to pay for stuff online, unless, of course, you're willing to do a bank transfer and pay. So you're buying something $50 from Amazon, and you have to pay $100 just to do a bank transfer, which will take 3 days. Apart from that, Bitcoins are the only way, only hope we have on this side of the continent.
Because were you saying something?
No, it's exactly the same thing. I think you got it covered. It's just unfair that people over here are not able to connect to the global payment network like everyone else in the world is, and that's why we feel like it's worth the risk and worth everything, worth the trouble to go ahead and create this exchange so that people can freely trade with the rest of the world.
So what can developers do about Bitcoins? Apart from we all have to, how can we contribute to it to make it better? How can we make sure people use it? What approach do we have to take develop as developers, right? Because we are building the application.
I guess you guys could just get more aware of the APIs and the services available for you guys to build applications on top of the Bitcoin infrastructure. So companies like Coinbase and blockchain have open APIs that anyone could use. And developers should be aware of these APIs and they should build cool applications using these APIs. Um, uh, it's just awareness. I mean, it's just being aware of the possibilities and then going ahead and trying things out. It's a pretty cool thing that you can do really cool stuff with it.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, I mean, in terms of when as far as financial services are concerned, I mean, Africa is a land of problems. But I mean, for the developer, it's a land of opportunity, right? There's lots of things you can fix just with your technology. You can give lots of people access to payments, financial services that they never had before. And for you, you can't take part in the current financial system. It's closed, but you can take advantage of Bitcoin because it's open source.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
So
think as Visa or MasterCard having an open API and allowing anyone in the world to use their network to transfer payments. That's the power of the Bitcoin network that is openly available to everyone.
okay,
Correct.
so are we supposed to see a lot of startups based on Bitcoin springing up lately? And what is your prediction? Are we going to see that coming? Um,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Are we about to see a lot of what?
a lot
Startups?
of startups based on Bitcoins
Yeah,
coming up.
Yeah, I actually think so. Yes. If you look at this, if you follow the startup scene, especially in the Valley, you're going to see that there are a lot of incubators, a lot of investment funds being set up just to utilize the power of Bitcoin. So I feel like Bitcoins are going to, or cryptocurrencies in general, are going to see a lot of startups and a lot of investment.
Okay. Now to the fun part. This is the pretty fun part. Where we talk about some myth surrounding Bitcoins, like the sort of thing that scares people away, or the sort of thing that makes people feel like Jesus, I'm not going to use this stuff. What are some of them? That it's not true. Just I'm giving you the opportunity to debunk some myths
Okay,
surrounding Bitcoins.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
are
don't
you going to
know.
ask?
Maybe no, I don't know. Maybe you guys have heard some. Okay, if you talk about yours, I also talk about my deepest fear. I mean, we've discussed most of them, but I still have some deep fear in me about Bitcoin. So, what are some of the challenges you come up with in dealing with other guys in business? What's the question they ask most of them, like
I
I mean,
about
think
Bitcoin? That's like a myth.
I think I mean talking about myths, it works the other way around. You tell me what the scary things you've heard about Bitcoin, and I'll try to debunk them one by one. It turns out that a lot of the people that contact me concerning Bitcoin already know about it, so it's easy to deal with them. It's just easy. However, I know a lot of people think it's illegal, right? And that's
Hmm.
not true. It's not illegal. In
So,
fact, the so
Yeah, I
one
think
of
I think the
the
illegal thing is the biggest one. People believe
go ahead,
it.
Nikunj.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So basically, it is not illegal to use bitcoins. The Ghanaian authorities have passed no regulation that actually makes it illegal. The U.S. authorities have made it legal. There are many other countries in Europe and even countries like Singapore that have made using bitcoins completely legal. So it is very likely that Ghana is also going to keep this something that's legal. And as of now, it is completely not illegal to use Bitcoin. Um,
Yeah.
One of the
No.
other things is Bitcoin is only for developers and hackers and sort of the people, the common man cannot make use of this technology. I think that is definitely not true, and it's going to change as time goes by, and more startups come about making Bitcoins easier and easier to use.
so
It's actually pretty easy if you actually look at how Kitiwa.com. You can easily acquire bitcoins and anyone can use them. So I definitely encourage people to not look at it as a hacker developer only thing. It's a very easy thing to use.
so I I've heard somewhere and with reasons and proofs and all over the place saying that Bitcoin is an invention of the NSA disguised. What do you think? I
Well,
mean,
that's that's a that's a good one. It could be. It could
I've
be,
actually never
but
heard that. Molly, have you heard that?
yeah, I have. And I mean, it could be true, but the thing is that even if it was true, the technology is now open source, and it is run by an open network of computers. So it's out of their control now. They can't do anything about it anymore.
no, no,
It's totally
Mauli, just tell me a little bit.
it's
So it could be that it's part of a sophisticated plan. I mean, to control the world through Bitcoin. They get all of us
yeah.
to own Bitcoins, and then maybe they do something to it.
I'll tell you what. I mean, the internet itself
Well,
was a
that's as good as a conspiracy theory is going to get. I mean,
Mhm.
yes, exactly. The internet was a DARPA thing. Siri is a technology that was developed by the US military too. So I don't think this is something that we need to worry about as much. Of course, it is possible, but I would say it's highly unlikely just because of the mass adoption Bitcoin has seen from multiple countries. It's not just Americans who are using Bitcoin now, it's pretty much everyone else in the world. And it is going to be difficult for one singular authority like NSA to be in control of, uh, of Bitcoins and sort of manipulate that infrastructure.
the only thing I disagree with Nikunj about is the fact that it's not highly unlikely that it was created by the NSA. In fact, I think it's highly likely it was created by the NSA. The only difference is it is no more in their control. It's now an open source technology. Just like the internet was a project by a DARPA project, right? It was an intelligence, department project, whatever. The Tor network was done by the U.S. Military, but now it's pretty much used by everybody. Bitcoins are like BitTorrent; they are out of the control of the original author. no matter who the author is, they cannot take it back, and that is for sure.
And also the software that I use on my laptop to control my bitcoins, right? How are there specific ones that I'm supposed to use? Are there recommendations? Because maybe there could be ones that some guy, random guy who wants to steal my bitcoins just wrote, and then I start using it, and then everything is going his way. Can you hear me? So my question was, what about the software that I use on my laptop, right, to manage my Bitcoin
Yeah,
transactions back and forth? What do you guys think about it? Are there specific recommendations, or I can
there's
just go for one?
definitely, yes, there are recommended ones. I think in terms of recommendation, what's the best one that people recommend is for one and only one reason: the fact that you can recover your bitcoins if you do crash your machine or it gets stolen or you lose them, and that is the Electrum wallet. Electrum. And the other reason is it's pretty fast. So you turn on your computer and it tells you how many bitcoins you have and yeah, how much you can spend. So the fact that you can recover it if someone stole your machines is crucial, and that's why the Electrum wallet is recommended. So for me right now, I have bitcoins on my computer, yes, and I have a set of about 12 words that I've stored away in a secret place. So should my computer get stolen or I lose my Bitcoin wallet, I can just use that same uh, password on another person's computer and recreate my wallet. And that's the cool thing. The technical term for them is highly deterministic wallets. It means they can recreate your Bitcoins at any given point on any machine as long as you know what the secret code is.
You missed their key property. Is it free?
The key property,
Now, is it free? The price, is it free
it's free. It's free to download and use. Yes, it's free
forever?
That's up to them.
forever and ever. It's open source, right? That's the cool thing. It's open source, so it's inclusive. It doesn't kick you out just because you're here in Africa.
And are women allowed to use bitcoins?
No,
No women.
no.
Bitcoin.
The software will automatically close if it sees you're a woman.
I'm sorry,
Last
did
time,
you say, are women allowed to use Bitcoin?
yes, it did.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
asking, are women allowed to use bitcoins?
yeah, of course. I mean, this is the open internet. If they can use the internet, they can use the Bitcoins.
Oh, okay. And who determines the price that I buy my bitcoins at? Can someone who owns it manipulate the price, or there's a
So,
standard price?
like I said earlier, right, the price is determined by a demand and supply.
Hmm.
So what you have is exchanges. Just think of a stock. All right, the stock trades on an exchange. That's the same way the Bitcoin trades on an exchange, and the demand and supply of that Bitcoin determine its price.
Okay. And is it possible that sometimes you want to buy bitcoin, but um the owner doesn't want to sell to you?
Yes, exactly, right? So that's how an exchange works. I offer you a price. There might be someone else in the world who is sort of ready to sell Bitcoins at that price. Of course, all of this is done by a clearing algorithm and a clearing technology inside the exchange itself. So we don't get exposed to this, but yes, it's exactly like how stock trading or trading of barter goods works. It's exactly like that.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for now. Would you guys want to show us some kind of demo, like how the transaction happens, how fast it
Uh,
really is? And I mean, I getting someone to transfer you money from the US to Ghana doesn't. It's not instantaneous. To be honest, it takes some time. Whether you go with Western Union or Bank or Wire. But it
Right.
seems from your description that Bitcoins is instantaneous, right?
Yeah, I can sort of show this to you. Uh, Mali, I can quickly do a screen share, I guess, and show them how kittywa.com works and how instant it is.
Yeah, sure, that works.
Okay, let me just start that.
Okay. You're
Do you
welcome.
guys see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, we see it. We
All
can see it.
right. So the first step is, of course, to go to kittywa.com. This beautiful website that we've built. You can access it from any device. So the first thing you do is you select an amount that you want to buy. So you can buy $1 or $10 or 25, all the way up to $100 worth of Bitcoin.
Wait, how come I can't see Nikun's screen?
Um, can you not? Can everyone else see my screen?
Oh, good, it shows
Now
up
you can
now.
see it now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so like you see over here, we can select an amount of Bitcoins that we want to buy in terms of US dollars, right? So supposing I want to buy just $1 worth of Bitcoins. I go into the next page, and basically what I will have to do is enter my Bitcoin wallet address, which is that public key sort of thing that we were talking about all the way until now, and enter our phone number to sort of pay for that. Okay? So let
Because
me
your
just
screen is off right now. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah. Okay, so basically I'm going to show you how instant it is. So let me open that wallet service that I was talking about earlier. It's called Blockchain. Let me just log into it. All right. So this is basically my Bitcoin wallet right over here. You can see that I have $33 worth of Bitcoins inside this. And you can see that this is my Bitcoin wallet address. All right. And by the way, this is super easy to create. You basically just have to enter two passwords and you are done. You can easily create this within 10 seconds. Okay. So once you have created this, you take your Bitcoin address and you put it over here inside the address field. And then you enter your phone number right over here and you click continue. All right. So just pause for me to be able to confirm my transaction. So basically what I have to do is now on my phone, I'm going to get an email, I'm going to get an email over here with the payment code from Empower. And once I enter that Empower payment and click save, that's it. All right, I'm done. So now within the next 30 minutes, in fact, it's going to be a lot faster. Within the next maybe minute, I'm going to receive my Bitcoins inside my wallet. All right. So let's just keep watching my wallet over here. And maybe within the next minute or two, we will have the $1 sort of inside my wallet right over there.
It's okay now. Now we see your screen.
There you go. Did you see that became 3420?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We've seen it.
Yeah. So that's
That was
how
super fast.
that's how fast it is. You can go ahead and spend these $34 on several websites, and let me just show you a couple of them. The first one is gift.com. This is a website that you can go to and buy things from Amazon with. So you can buy a Amazon gift card on gift.com and then use that Amazon gift card to go and buy goods on Amazon. The internet's kind of slow, but yeah, there you go. All right. So it's super easy for you to buy gift cards over here. You can go to overstock.com and buy things like uh, it's so simple to use these bitcoins you have immediately and buy whatever you need to. For all those developers out there, you can buy all your domain names at namesweep.com with bitcoins, and it's instant. You don't have to enter credit card numbers. You don't have to go through the hassle of entering your address. You just enter your Bitcoin address. You can just transfer the money to them, and you're done.
Wow. Wow. I'm just blown away. Seriously.
I'm glad you are.
Which basically means I don't need Visa cards. I don't need anything. All I need is some money in my Empower account, and I can go online and buy stuff, anything that I want.
That's right.
All you
That's
need is
right. It's
mobile
super
money.
easy. You just need to create a Bitcoin wallet and Empower account. Yes, Maui, go ahead.
Yep, all you need is mobile money, and you can buy anything pretty much online. I mean, because you can convert it to bitcoins and pay instant.
I think Bitcoins are here to stay. It's a technology that's here to stay. Any
Yeah, we can.
competitors? Any competitors for Bitcoin? Someone trying to do the same thing?
Yes, definitely. There are tons of cryptocurrencies out there. You have Dogecoin. I don't know if it's Dogecoin or Dogecoin, but it's
Doggy,
DOGE coin.
doggy,
You have
doggy coin.
Litecoin. There's several Bitcoin. Okay, Dogecoin. That's right. So you have all these different Bitcoin or competitors or cryptocurrencies, but no currency is even half as successful as Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is taking the lead and is by far the biggest, has the biggest adoption rate uh, in cryptocurrencies.
Oh, okay. So which means that I mean the fact that they are competitors means you are successful. If you don't have competitors, then it means you are alone in your own space. That's a good thing. Or what do you guys think about the
Right.
competitors? You think it's
Yeah.
bad that they are competitors?
Not at all, like if Bitcoin was to face a problem or go down someday, there would always be another cryptocurrency that people could fall back to. You see? So basically, global payments are here to stay in terms of cryptocurrencies, in my opinion. I don't think that Bitcoins are going to just completely crash, but the fact that they're competitors or more like alternatives for Bitcoin makes the whole ecosystem a lot more dependable.
Do you
I
think
think that.
do you think in the future there will be some sort of portability between two different kinds of cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoins to Doggy coins or Doggy coins to Bitcoins, that kind of thing? Or you have to go through a third party? Do you think they'll be made compatible in some way?
Well, currently, I mean, there's already a sort of compatibility. As in, can you guys hear me? Oh, I was wearing my headphones backwards. Okay, so the compatibility is in the fact that you can exchange you can exchange one into the other. So just like you can exchange what US dollars for euros, yeah, you can exchange bitcoins for litecoins, doggy coins for bitcoins. Yeah, there's exchanges online that do that. So they're already compatible.
Okay, so we wrap up in 5 minutes. Do you guys have any last word?
Last words. Well, I say, I guess it's a good thing that I mean, Liberty Reserve got shut down. It's a good thing, I guess. I mean, that Africa is discriminated against in the payments, financial services industry internationally. Because guess what? We have a better alternative now, Bitcoins. We have totally leapfrogged credit cards and PayPal, and now we use Bitcoins. That's a cool thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would like to say that that's exactly correct, and I would encourage everyone out there to try Bitcoins out. Just buy maybe $1 or $5 worth of Bitcoins. It's just 5 to 20 CDs, and just try it out. You will really realize how easy it is for people to use Bitcoins and how easily replaceable credit cards and all those really difficult, tiring, cumbersome things are. So just experience the power of Bitcoins and you will be amazed.
So where did you say I could buy bitcoins from in Ghana?
Where else?
So you put Kiliwa.com. I think
Nah, is it Kaneshi or Circle? Where do I have to go to buy bitcoins in Ghana?
Oh, okay, okay.
East Legon.
You can buy bitcoins from anywhere you are because it's accessible over the internet. So Ketiwa, Ketiwa.com, Ketiwa.com, and yep, you can do that. It's like a digital ATM because once you have mobile money, you can convert it into bitcoins, and it's instant and it's automatic, and I mean, you don't need to go to any physical place. It's all online.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was this guy working who had a lot of them in his pocket. And all right, thanks for having us, Kitwa, and your co-founders Maoli and Nikunj. Maybe are you guys hiring or something? Someone is interested. Maybe we don't know.
Yeah, sure, definitely. We can use more help. So if anybody's interested in hacking on things, just yeah, get in touch. If you go to you can write to hello@ketiwa.com. Visit the website. You'll see the email there, and yeah, drop us a note. We'll be happy to chat with you. See where we can have you hacking on.
Okay, so developers, you just heard them. All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having us. We very much appreciate this conversation. I think this is not the first.
Thanks
This
a
is
lot
not
for
the end,
doing.
but the first of many more on bitcoins. What do you guys think? We can have more conversations on bitcoins, right?
Yeah, sure. It's definitely
Okay.
relevant. Oh,
Definitely.
and I guess I should mention we have a Bitcoin meetup happening at Frankie's sometime. Is it the 12th of June? But yeah, just check
It
my
might
Twitter.
be
You'll see it, or
the
ask me on Twitter.
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
So,
the
okay,
link.
you can share the link with us, and everybody else will have it. That would
Yeah.
be awesome.
Sure.
Okay. Now, somebody is screaming, "Hire me!" Did you see that? Somebody is screaming, "Hire me! Hire me! Take me along with you."
Don't worry, Bitcoin definitely wants to hire you. It's open source. You can use it for, I mean, any problem you have to solve that's, I mean, has to do with finance. So you're welcome.
Okay. So that was awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you. Now